Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. समस्त राष्ट्रवृंद की जय. नामाचार्य दास ठाकुर जी की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Good morning, dear devotees. I welcome you all to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for this mid-morning session. Thank you all so much for joining. Please forgive me for stopping ecstatic chanting. This is Shivani from Ashram. Let us move to the next part of the session. Today's class will be given by Haridas Cinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji on Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata Madhya Khanda 24.1 to 24. May I know who all have joined this morning?
Hare Krishna Shivani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Punita Gandharvi Patil Dasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna Punita Gandharvika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving your beautiful association. All glories to your services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much, Yashomati Priya Mataji, for that very, very beautiful chanting. And thank you to Shivani Mataji for your beautiful welcoming.
Hare Krishna Preeti Vilasini Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and giving a beautiful association. All glories to your services, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashomati Priya Devidasi from Cincinnati, and thank you Preeti Vilasini Mataji for giving me the opportunity to recite.
Hare Krishna Yashamati Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you for joining and giving a beautiful association every day and chanting so beautifully. And thank you for the beautiful Bhagavad Gita recitation. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shivani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj and Gauranga. This is Harita from Missouri City, Texas, Mataji. And Yashomati Mataji, it was very beautiful recitation, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Harita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. Thank you so much for joining every single day and giving a beautiful association, Mataji. Welcome to the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Once again, I welcome you all for this mid-morning session. I would like to start by sharing a quote by Srila Prabhupada ji. Every animal is imperfect, but animal can become perfect if he likes. It is very important life. You cannot become as perfect as God, but near about. Part May 7th, 1975, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Good morning, dear devotees. Today we're very fortunate to have Her Grace Cinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Mataji will be enlightening us on the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata Madhya Khanda 24.1 to verse 24. Good morning. Please accept my humble obeisances. Cinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Thank you so much for your valuable time and beautiful association this morning. Waiting eagerly to hear from you, Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. I hand over the call to you, Mataji. Please take over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shivani Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this warm welcome. And thank you, Preeti Vilasni Mataji, Kirtida Sundari Mataji, for giving me this opportunity. I was reading some words where today morning, where Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was saying, I have no capacity to write, but Chaitanya Deva is making me this write so that I can purify myself. That is being spoken by an exalted devotee. So in that mood, I'm nowhere. I'm a fallen soul. I'm nowhere, but in that mood, just to purify myself, we'll go about with today's verses. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I fall at the lotus feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. Please bless me that whatever I speak will be in accord with Srila Prabhupada's words, Srila Gurudev's words, and no words from a mental concoction should arise. We'll start with Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeshatarine Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam punghum langhayate girimitkrpatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatharinam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishwaram Harihi Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, everybody. We're starting a new chapter today. So we came to the end of Mahaprabhu's Nagar Sankirtan, the first Nagar Sankirtan which he inaugurated. And It was a very, very beautiful pastime with Chand Kasi and the interactions, and we were almost more than 500 verses. We've had a very beautiful journey through that chapter. It has come to an end, and Srila Vrindavan Thakur is giving us a new chapter, which is entitled The Lord Displays His Universal Form to Advaita. This again is such a beautiful chapter where Mahaprabhu shows a very beautiful mode to Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya is in deep, deep, deep ecstasy, and he is not able to come out of that ecstasy. For hours, he's rolling on the ground, and no matter what the devotees are trying, he's not able to come out of that ecstasy. And then our Vishwambhara, knowing the mood of everybody, takes him inside a room and asks him what is his desire. And then Advaita Acharya says, I want to see your universal form. So Mahaprabhu reveals his universal form to Advaita Acharya. At that time, Nityananda Prabhu also comes, knowing that Mahaprabhu is revealing his beautiful form. He comes and he also takes part in this pastime. So that's a brief summary of this chapter, which is given. And we'll start from text 1. Each verse which Mataji gave me today are such beautiful verses. Please pray that I do some justice to these verses, because each verse can drown us in Mahaprabhu's. It's so beautiful. Let's carry on. Okay. Text 1. Jaya 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 Gaura Simha Mahadhira Jaya Jaya Shishtapala Jaya Dushta All glories to the most sober lion like Gaura. All glories to the Lord who maintains the devotees and annihilates the miscreants. Srila Prabhupada Saraswati is given a very small purport to this. To teach tolerance to all restless living entities, Sri Gaura Simha, the giver of Krishna Prema, has given instructions about service to Krishna. Yadunandana has manifested his supreme opulences by maintaining all the universes. So our lion guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, is talking about our lion-like Gaura, Gaura Simha. So in third chapter, Adi Leela, where Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami talks about the external reasons for the appearance of Mahaprabhu, there's this beautiful verse which says, Chaitanya Simhera Nava Dvipe Avatara Simha Griva Simha Virya Simhera Hunkara. So the lion like Lord Chaitanya has appeared in Navadvipa. He has the shoulders of a lion, Simha Griva, high Griva, throat and shoulders like lion. Simha Virya has the prowess of a lion, and Simhera Hunkara, and a loud voice like lion. So that is our Gaura Simha. And also in Antya Leela, where Srila Rupa Goswami is reading his works to Ramanandraya, I think it's Vidagdha Madhava, where he recites this Anarpita Charim Chirat Karunavata Avatirna Kalo. In that verse, in purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Vo Yushmakam Hridaya Rupa Guhayam Sachi Nandano Harih Pakshe Simhas Puratau. May Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is exactly like a lion that kills all the elephants of desires, be awakened within everyone's heart. For by his merciful blessings, one can understand the transcendental pastimes of Sri Radha Krishna. So that's why we need our Gaura Simha's blessings, which can remove the elephant-like desires in our heart. Our desires are not tiny desires from millions and millions of births. At least mine, they have all accumulated to become elephant and mammoth-like. So we need our Gaura Simha's blessings for that. And we also see in our Srimad Bhagavatam, Rukmini Devi in her while narrating the pastime of her wedding to Mother Draupadi in Kurukshetra. She describes how she got married to this Bhuvana Sundara Krishna. And she says, when Jarasandha and other kings, with bows and arrows upraised, stood ready to deliver me in charity to Shishupala, Krishna forcibly took me away in the same way a lion forcibly takes its share of hunted booty, driving away all small animals within the twinkling of an eye. So when the lion attacks an animal, there could be other teeny tiny animals hankering around to get their share. But when the lion comes with its hukara and claims its share, all the animals run away. So that is how she compared Lord Sri Krishna appearing in that arena and chasing away all the other Kshatriya kings who were waiting to get Mother Rukmini married to Shishupala. He chases them away, grabs Mother Rukmini, who is his share of hunted booty, and takes her. And then Bhishma Deva in his prayers also calls Krishna a lion. He says, fulfilling my desire and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up its wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He even dropped his outer garment on the way. So we know Bhishma Deva, he was taunted by Duryodhana, and Bhishma Deva took a vow that next day either Krishna will take up weapons or Arjuna will die. And Bhishma Deva starts attacking Arjuna ferociously, very ferociously. And Krishna cannot take this. Krishna becomes so angry at Bhishma Deva. He exhibits the Virya Rasa for which our Bhishma Deva is waiting to see. And then Krishna comes. He takes the chariot wheel and he runs towards Bhishma. And Bhishma just stands there. We all have seen that picture millions of times. Bhishma just stands like this, like, bring it on, Krishna, bring it on. And Krishna had made a promise that he would not take up any weapons, but still he forsakes his promise just to keep up the promise of Bhishma Deva and charges at him like a lion. And today we will see some very beautiful mood of this Gaura Simha. We will move on to text 2. Jaya Jagannatha Putra Shri Sachinandana Jaya 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 Punya Shravana Kirtana. All glories to the son of Jagannath Mishra and Shachi. All glories to the virtuous devotional process of hearing and chanting. So here Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is glorifying the virtuous devotional process of hearing and chanting, because our Mahaprabhu has inaugurated Nagar Sankirtan now. So he's again glorifying the process of Shravanam and Kirtanam. Jaya Jaya Shri Jagadanande Rajivana Jaya Haridasa Kashishvara Pranadhana. All glories to the life and soul of Sri Jagadananda. All glories to the life and wealth of Haridasa and Kashishvara. So here, 3 exalted devotees have been mentioned by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And it's always so purifying to think about these devotees, because when we think about the devotees of the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Lord gets pleased. We all know Jagadananda Pandita so well. Now, repeatedly, we have heard his pastimes. And we know he was Satyabhama in Krishna Leela. And he had such a beautiful, intimate, sort of possessive relationship with Mahaprabhu. This relationship was so beautiful. And he could even display anger at the Supreme Lord. And he considered the Supreme Lord his very life. We all know the pastime of him getting sandalwood oil, so I'll not deal with that again. And before Mahaprabhu begins his South India tour, he is requested by Nityananda Prabhu that he take some devotees with him and go, and he doesn't go alone to do his South India trip. At that time, Mahaprabhu kind of admonishes everybody. He admonishes Nityananda Prabhu and says, "Oh, I know you. You tricked me one too many times. You tricked me when I was going to Vrindavan. You tricked me and you got me to Shantipur. You broke my danda when I was walking to Jagannath Puri. Yeah, I know you very well, Nityananda. And I know this Jagadananda too. He wants me to enjoy bodily sense gratification. And out of fear, I do whatever he wants me to do." This is Mahaprabhu saying, out of fear of Jagadananda Pandita, I do whatever Jagadananda wants to do because he gets so angry at me. And if at all I do something against his desire, out of anger, he does not talk to me for 3 days. So this is how you people are all to me. So this is the relationship that Jagadananda Pandit had with Mahaprabhu. And here our Srila Vrindavan Das is saying, Mahaprabhu is the life and soul of Jagadananda Pandit. The next personality which Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is glorifying here is Haridas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur is Namacharya himself. And during the last phases of Haridas Thakur's pastime, when he had become really old, and he used to lay down and chant. One day Govinda comes to give him Mahaprasadam, and Haridas Thakur says, "Oh Govinda, I cannot eat prasadam today because I have not yet finished my chanting. But still you have got Mahaprasadam. I cannot say no to this." Saying this, Haridas Thakur offers prayers to Mahaprasadam and he honors just a little bit of it. And our Mahaprabhu is Paramatma, so he gets to know this. And next day he himself comes to Haridas Thakur and he asks, "What's going on, Haridas Thakur? How are you?" And Haridas Thakur says, he glorifies Mahaprabhu. He says, "I was born in an inferior family. I'm unseeable, I'm untouchable, and my body is most abominable. But you, Mahaprabhu, you have accepted me as your servant, and you have raised me to Vaikuntha platform." And then Haridas Thakur says, "I know that very soon you are going to end your pastimes, and I don't want to be part of it. Kindly, kindly let my body fall down in your presence." And Haridas Thakur says, "I wish to catch your lotus feet upon my heart, see your moon-like face, and my tongue should incessantly chant Shri Krishna Chaitanya, and I should give up my body." So this is Srila Haridas Thakur. And Mahaprabhu agrees to it. He says, "Your wish is something which Krishna has to fulfill," he says. And so the next day he comes with all the exalted devotees. They perform beautiful Sankirtan around Haridas Thakur. And then Haridas Thakur makes Mahaprabhu sit in front of him, and he looks at the lotus face of Mahaprabhu with his two bumblebee-like eyes. He gazes at Mahaprabhu, and then he puts the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu on his chest and incessantly chants Shri Krishna Chaitanya, and gives up his body. This is Srila Haridas Thakur. And after that, Mahaprabhu personally performs the funeral rites for Haridas Thakur. He carries Haridas Thakur's body on his lap, and he dances for quite an amount of time. And then he takes the body to the sea, and personally he entombs the body and covers it with sand and erects a platform there. And then he personally goes and he begs for prasadam, Mahaprasadam of Jagannath from shopkeepers, comes and distributes it to all the devotees there. So this is the relationship of Haridas Thakur with Mahaprabhu. And Kashishvara Pandit, we know, is a disciple of Srila Ishwarapuri. And Sri Ishwarapuri Pad sends Kashishvara along with Govinda to Sir Mahaprabhu. And Kashishvara was very strongly built. So whenever Mahaprabhu would walk to Jagannath temple or anything, Kashishvara would always be ahead of Mahaprabhu, protecting him. So this, I don't know, it reminded me of how Mother Sita tells Lord Ramachandra, when you go to the forest, I will walk ahead of you and protect you. So similarly, Kashishvara walks in front of Mahaprabhu, and he keeps the crowd away from Mahaprabhu, and he renders a lot of services to Mahaprabhu. We'll move on with verses. Text 4. जय कृपा सिंधु दीन बंधु सर्वताता ये बले तुम्हारा प्रभु तारे हो यो नाथा. Such a beautiful verse. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is calling our Mahaprabhu Kripa Sindhu Dina Bandhu. All glories to the ocean of mercy, to the friend of the poor, to Sarva Tata, to the affectionate father of all. And then he says, Ye bale tomara Prabhu, who says, I am yours. Then you become their master. You become the Lord of one who says, I am yours. So we all know during Sanatan Shiksha, Mahaprabhu is talking about the process of devotional service to Sanatan Goswami. And at that time, Mahaprabhu himself says this verse. कृष्णा तुम्हारा हया यदि बले एक बारा माया बंध है ते कृष्णा तारे करे पारा. One is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if he seriously and sincerely says, my dear Krishna, although I have forgotten you for so many long years in the material world, today I am surrendering unto you. I am your sincere and serious servant. Please engage me in your service. So if we say this once and we act on it, then Krishna will become ours. And we will become Krishna's. And right with that, Mahaprabhu says, the next verse, Sakrideva prapanno yas tavasmiti cha yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai tadami etad vratam mama. It is the vow which Sri Lord Ramachandra says. It is my vow that if one, only once, seriously surrenders unto me, saying, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award him courage. And he will always remain safe from that time on. We all very well know what is courage. We all very well know what is remaining safe. It is not just remaining safe in this particular body. It is not that. It is always staying Krishna conscious, getting life after life, becoming servant of Krishna. So the Lord is assuring us again and again, saying, just come to me and I'll take care of everything. So here Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur is glorifying that mood of Mahaprabhu. हे नामते नवद्वीपे विश्वंभर राया विविध कीर्तन प्रभु करये सदाया. In this way, Lord Vishwambhara constantly engaged in various kirtana pastimes in Navadvipa. Sadaya, all the time he was performing kirtana pastimes in Navadvipa. हेन से हैल प्रभु हरि संकीर्तने कृष्ण नाम श्रुति मात्र पड़े ये सिद्ध स्थाने. He became so overwhelmed in Hari Sankirtana that as soon as he heard the name of Krishna, he fell to the ground. So this was the mood of our Mahaprabhu. As soon as he just heard the name of Hari, he would become ecstatic. की नगरे की चत्वारे की वज्र चले वने निरंतर आश्रुधारे वहे श्री नयने. Incessant tears would flow from his lotus eyes, whether he was in the street, in a courtyard, in the water, or in the forest. So this is our Mahaprabhu who was totally engrossed in his ecstatic symptoms, and tears would flow from his eyes incessantly. I saw the poster for today's class as I was joining, and in her Grace Indulekha Karuna Mataji, as usual, she I don't know from where she gets such beautiful pictures. She depicts the mood of the class each day. And the picture of hers for today was Mahaprabhu crying. So we all know how Mahaprabhu cries. It's not like when I cry, it's out of self-pity. All the time, it's something which has happened to me, and why me is what is going on. But when Mahaprabhu cries, it is due to separation from Krishna. And those are not just like some tears which come for some time and stop. So when Mahaprabhu was performing his Beda Kirtan pastimes, his dancing in front of the Supreme Lord Jagannath's Rath Yatra, there's a verse which says, tears from the eyes of the Lord came out with great force like water from a syringe. The syringe is not something which we inject, it is those pitchkaris, pitchkari dhara. As though water is flowing from a pitchkari, that way tears would flow from Mahaprabhu's eyes. And the continuation of the translation, all people surrounding him were moistened by these tears. So the tears were flowing so much that people around Mahaprabhu were becoming wet by those tears. So that is how Mahaprabhu cries in separation from Lord Krishna. So in relation to tears, we cannot go without saying this. Mahaprabhu, his Ashtakam, he's talked about tears. He's taught us how we should beg for tears. We all know so many of our Maharajas have taught us, that they have told us how we should cry. We should cry when we chant. And if we do not cry, we should cry thinking why I am not crying. This was said by His Holiness Srila Gurudev. We have also heard from many Maharajas who say our morning chanting is crying for Krishna. I do not get even one tear. With all your blessings, maybe someday I can cry for Krishna. But now we will read a few verses from this last Leela of, last chapter of Antya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita, where Mahaprabhu is giving us the Shikshashtaka prayers. So this is text 35. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, he is giving us the mood in which Mahaprabhu is giving us the verses. Natural humility and eagerness then awoke in Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He prayed to Krishna to be able to chant the Mahamantra in ecstatic love. Nayanam galadashrudharaya vadanam gadgadaruddhaya gira pulakair nichitam vapuh kada tava nama grahena bhavishyati. My dear Lord, when will my eyes be beautified by filling with tears that constantly glide down as I chant your holy name? When will my voice falter and all the hairs on my body stand erect in transcendental happiness as I chant your holy name? Then going further, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, without love of Godhead, my life is useless. Therefore, I pray that you accept me as your servant and give me the salary of ecstatic love of God. Separation from Krishna awoke various mellows of distress, lamentation, and humility. So now, with mellows of distress, lamentation, and humility, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke like a madman. What is the next verse which Mahaprabhu says? Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravrashayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. My Lord, because of separation from you, I consider even a moment a great millennium. Tears flow from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I see the entire world as void. In my agitation, a day never ends, for every moment seems like a millennium. Pouring incessant tears, my eyes are like clouds in the rainy season. The three worlds have become void because of separation from Govinda. I feel as if I were burning alive in slow fire. This is the mood of Mahaprabhu. And these are the tears which Mahaprabhu is asking us to also shed, and he is shedding those tears in separation from Krishna. So we'll move on. Text 8. आप्तगणे रक्षिया भूलेन निरन्तर भक्तिरसमय हयि लेन Vishwambhara. Vishwambhara's intimate associates would always protect him when he became filled with ecstasy of Krishna consciousness. So his intimate associates were always there protecting him day and night. They were there with Mahaprabhu all the time. And we know how Nityananda Prabhu would always be with Mahaprabhu till he was given instructions to go and preach in Bengal. Till then, Nityananda Prabhu was always with Mahaprabhu, and he would not even go and lead his own group or anything. He would always be with Mahaprabhu in a servitor mode, and making sure Mahaprabhu does not fall down. When Mahaprabhu reveals these ecstatic symptoms, he would always be there, making sure Mahaprabhu does not get hurt. And I think I said this in the last session too, during Rath Yatra, when Mahaprabhu gets immersed in his ecstatic dancing, then his intimate associates, they form 3 protective circles around him. The first circle is formed by Nityananda Prabhu, the second by Kashishvara and Govinda, and the third circle was Maharaj Prataprudra and his associates. So this way they protect Mahaprabhu from the general crowd, and they were always there when making sure that Mahaprabhu wouldn't get hurt, because Mahaprabhu would show such deep ecstatic symptoms. So text 9. केहा मात्र कोन रूपे यदि बले हरि सुनिले पड़े प्रभु आपन पसारी. If for any reason anyone spoke the name Hari, the Lord would forget himself and fall to the ground. महाकंप आश्रुहया पुलक सर्वांगे गदा गदियाये नगरे महारंगे. He would shiver and cry, and the hairs of his body would stand on end as he rolled on the street in great ecstasy. So this was how Mahaprabhu was showing his ecstatic symptoms. And we know the pastime where Mahaprabhu takes sannyasa, and then he is lured by Nityananda Prabhu to come to Shantipur. And he is, at that time, Nityananda Prabhu also sends for all the Navadvipasis to come to Shantipur along with Sachimata. Sachimata comes in a palanquin, and she sees her son has taken sannyasa. She feels very sad, but then the Lord decides to spend some days at Advaita Acharya's house. And the morning would be spent in Shachimata cooking and serving the Supreme Lord and all the associates, and evenings they would start doing Sankirtan. And this again here Mahaprabhu would reveal his ecstatic symptoms. He would show, he would cry, he would jump in ecstasy, his teeth would shatter, and he would roll like a, here also it's being told about him rolling on the street. And when he rolls on the street, it would appear as though a golden mountain is rolling. A golden mountain is going on the street. And Shachimata would see this, and she would get so much of agony. She would cry. She would say, "Oh, my Nimai is getting hurt. Oh, my Nimai is getting hurt." And she would run as the body of her darling Nimai was, she was thinking that the body of her darling Nimai is getting smashed. She would make a petition to Lord Vishnu. She would say, as a result of whatever service I have rendered to you from my childhood, so whenever Nimai falls to the surface of earth, make sure that let him not feel the pain. So this was her prayer to Lord Vishnu. And this way Sachimata would pray that Nimai would not get hurt. And in turn, Nimai blessed Sachimata with so much of ecstasy that over the time she would not see that Nimai was rolling like this. She would be involved in her own ecstasy, and she would not feel the pain of seeing her dear darling Nimai falling and getting hurt. So that was how the Lord, even when he was in that mood of extreme separation, he would take care of his devotees. So text 11. Ye avesha dekhila brahmadi dhanahaya taha dekhe nadiyara loka samuchaya. The people of Nadia would thus see manifestation of ecstasy that personalities like Brahma aspired to see. So we all know how Brahma, Shiva, and all the demigods, they're waiting to see these pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And we are so fortunate that sitting at the comfort of our home, we are able to at least envision it to some extent through the mercy of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and our dear Srila Prabhupada. Text 12. शेषे अति मूर्छा देखी मिली सर्वदा से अलगा करिया निया चलीला आवासे. When the Lord's servants saw the Lord eventually lose consciousness, they took him to his own residence. तबे द्वारे दिए ये करे न संकीर्तन से सुखे पूर्णित हया अनंत भुवना. So when the Lord lost his external consciousness, his dear devotees, they took him inside. They took him inside closed doors. And at that time, and then they started performing kirtan again, because that was the only way they could revive the Supreme Lord. And that kirtan was filled, that happiness of that kirtan filled innumerable universes. Innumerable universes were filled with the joy of that Sankirtan. यत सब भाव हया अकथ्य सकला है नहीं बुझी प्रभु कीरा से विह्वला. It is impossible to describe all the sentiments that the Lord manifest, and it is difficult to understand which mellows overwhelm the Lord. So now inside in the closed quarters, the Lord reveals some beautiful mellows which we will see now. कृष्ण बले मोई से मदन गोपाल कृष्ण बल क्षण बले मोई से मदन गोपाल क्षण बले मोई कृष्ण दास सर्वकाला. One moment Mahaprabhu said, I am that Madana Gopala. Another moment he said, I am the eternal servant of Krishna. So we have Prabhupada Saraswati's commentary for this. Sri Gaura Sundaram incarnated to reveal how fortunate the conditioned souls become by chanting the spiritual names. How fortunate the conditioned souls become by chanting the spiritual names. When living entities retire from perception based on the godless sense gratifying meanings of words, coming from languages like Brahmi, Sankhi, and Kharoshti, then by the influence of the spiritual names, their eternal propensity is awakened. So first we have to get a little out of this mundane perception, and we take shelter of the spiritual names, then our eternal propensity can get awakened. So that's why it is ideal to name our children spiritual and holy names of the Lord. And that's why in our initiation, our spiritual masters bless us with some spiritual names, so that thinking of those names, we get purified. We are becoming fortunate when we think of the Lord's holy names. And also, I didn't know this. I was told by Mataji, Her Grace Prithvilasni Mataji, that Panini's work on grammar there are various rules. They're all mundane rules using mundane words. But then Srila Jiva Goswami has written his work on grammar, and that is Harinamamrita Vyakharana, where all the rules of grammar, they have been defined using the names of Hari. So the names of Hari are used to teach the rules of grammar. And that way we take the names of Hari and we are closer to the Supreme Lord. So we'll continue with Prabhupada Saraswati's purport. So Prabhupada Saraswati is saying, by taking the holy names, our eternal propensity gets awakened. Then they are not satisfied by attraction to external objects and they develop an indescribable urge. At that time, the living entities realize their eternal constitutional position. Sri Gaura Sundara also always manifested in himself the 5 sentiments found in the eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. The 5 sentiments being Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Since he was Brajendra Nandana himself, he was sometimes unable to conceal himself. He did not obstruct the conditioned soul's vision by which they could understand the identity of the Supreme Lord and thus know that the son of Sachi is non-different from the son of Nanda. So he did not obstruct our vision sometimes, but he always identified himself as a Vaishnava so that all living entities who are servants of Lord Chaitanya would not lose their constitutional spiritual propensities and consider themselves Ahangrahopasakas or Mayavad Baulas or Madana Gopalas. So why is Srila Prabhupada Saraswati saying this? Because the verse says, one moment the Lord was saying, I am Madana Gopal. And the next moment he was calling himself the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. So here he was always exhibiting the mood of the servant so that all the living entities who are basically servants of Lord Chaitanya, we do not lose our constitutional spiritual propensity. And we should not start considering ourselves, I am God. Ahangrahopasaka is one who worships himself with the idea of becoming God. So we should never even think of doing any such thing. So that is why Mahaprabhu is displaying this mood of eternal servant for us. And of course, there are various internal reasons too. So text 16. Gopi, gopi, gopi matra, kona dina jape, shuni lakshvishnera nama, jwale mahakope. Some days he would simply chant, Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. When he would hear the name of Krishna, he would burn with great indignation. So now he's taking a different mood. These are all intimate moods which he's revealing to his close associates. So we'll see the commentary by Prabhupada Saraswati for this. It's a small paragraph. In the constitutional propensities of living entities, the identification of a gopi in Madhura Rasa under the subordination of the daughter of King Vrishabhanu is topmost. And since living entities who are shelters of Madhura Rasa are gopis, Rajendra Nandana repeatedly chanted the word gopi to remain fixed on the platform of identifying himself as a gopi. So he wanted to show us that we should always be in this gopi bhav. To reveal that the living entities are sheltered parts and parcels and not Swayam Rupa Krishna, that supreme shelter. And to reveal that the Panchopasaka, Mayavadi, conditioned souls, identifying themselves as non-different from Krishna is extremely meaningless. The Lord, on one hand, enacted the pastime of displaying distaste for the name of Krishna, and on the other hand, he revealed that it is the duty of all living entities to always inquire about Krishna, and in the course of inquiry to engage in the service of Krishna. So we should understand what Srila Prabhupada Saraswati is saying here. He's saying Why did the Lord show distaste to Krishna? That's because he is condemning the acts of all these Panchopasakas. Panchopasakas are Mayavadis who imagine various demigods to be forms of God, forms of the Lord. And they actually do not believe in the form of Lord, but for the sake of worship, they worship these 5 forms. And they keep all these 5 forms in the same pedestal. That's Vishnu, Ganesha, Durga, Lord Shiva, and then Lord Surya Deva. So these are the 5 forms they worship, Panchopasakas, and then they say through this worship they will go to the form, the concept of the Lord being formless. So anyways, the Lord is saying, he's admonishing that concept. He's saying, those people who are identifying themselves as non-different from Krishna, that concept is extremely meaningless. So to discourage that, he is burning in indignation when somebody calls out Krishna. But at the same time, he is teaching us that in the mood of a gopi, we have to serve the Supreme Lord. He's also showing us the duty of all living entities is to inquire about Krishna and serve Krishna. That is why Sri Mahaprabhu has indirectly displayed distaste for the name of Krishna by feigning detachment and engaging in behavior that is contrary to the people of the world, and by acting like one who has realized his constitutional position. So Mahaprabhu's constitutional position is he is Swayam Krishna, but he is acting as though he is a Jiva who has realized his constitutional position, and he has developed an excessive thirst to hear the name of Krishna, and he has increased his desire to constantly hear the name of Krishna. This is a little difficult purport. I hope I made some sense. Otherwise, the seniors here can always clarify. We'll move on. Text 17 and 18. Kothakara Krishna Tora Mahadasyu se Shatha Drishta Kai Taiva Bhajeva Tarake. From where has your Krishna come? He is a great rogue. Who will worship such a duplicitous, cunning, cheating person? Strijita haya strira khate naka khana lubdha kere praya laila valira parana. First, he conquers a lady, then he cuts off her ears and nose. He took the life of Vali like a hunter. So here, our Mahaprabhu is kind of putting Krishna down. He's saying, where has he come from? He's a rogue. He's a duplicitous, cunning, cheating person. And for the second verse, where Prabhupada Saraswati is writing, Krishna is a great rogue. He's duplicitous, cunning, and cheating. It is not proper to worship him, for he is an insignificant person. By these statements, Lord Gaura Sundara awarded a proper reprimand to the foolish people and revealed the foolish people's poor fund of knowledge to the devotee. By this, the Lord revealed to faithful living entities his pastimes in the mood of a left-wing gopi and the proper platform for worshipping Krishna. So what is the platform? The Lord is revealing here the mood of a left-wing gopi. And who is the queen of the left-wing gopis? Srimati Radharani. So I found this is this Brahmara Gita, where Srimati Radharani reveals exactly the same mood which Mahaprabhu, of course, Mahaprabhu has taken the mood of Srimati Radharani. So it was so similar, these verses. I'll just pick a few. And in fact, this verse where Mahaprabhu is admonishing Krishna for cutting off the ears and nose of Shurpanaka and for killing Vali by hiding behind a tree. The same thing is addressed by Srimati Radharani. So we'll just read the translation of those few verses. This is Canto 10, Chapter 47, the Song of the Bee, text 12 onwards. The gopi said, "O honey bee, O friend of a cheat." Okay, a little bit, I'll give a small introduction, otherwise we'll not get the context. So this is Uddhava is sent by Lord Krishna to go to Vraja and console his parents and the Vraja and the cowherd girls and his dear friends, the Gopas. And he knows how heavy their heart is. And Uddhava comes, and by the time he reaches Vraja, the Vraja is so beautiful at night. In the evening, he reaches in the evening. He goes to Nanda Baba's house, and Nanda Baba welcomes him, feeds him nicely, gives him a nice bed, and Nanda Baba and Uddhava, they start talking about Krishna. And as they're talking about Krishna, Mother Yashoda is just sitting there, and she is so engrossed in her feelings of separation from Krishna. She is not even aware of what is happening around her much. But when they talk about Krishna, she is all ears. And hearing about Krishna, she is her eyes are pouring out incessant tears, like torrents of rain. Tears are coming from Mother Yashoda's eyes, and her breasts, they are pouring out so much of milk as though it's flooding. And she is engrossed in hearing this Krishna Katha, the glories of her darling Rajendra Nandana, Yashoda Nandana, Shyama Sundara. And then they go on talking, and the sun rises. And the gopis come and they all start their activities, and they see this chariot in front of Nanda Baba's house, and they think, has Akrura come again? And then they see Uddhava, who resembles Krishna so much that they understand the reason he has come. They take him to a secluded place, and they remember all the pastimes which they had with Sri Krishna, and they cry, they shed tears. And at that time, one Gopi, Srila Shukadeva Goswami says, our Srimati Radharani says these beautiful verses. She says, oh honeybee, she sees a bumblebee there, and she mistakes that bee to be the messenger of Krishna in her feelings of separation. And she says, oh honeybee, oh friend of a cheater, don't touch my feet with your whiskers, which are smeared with the kunkuma that rubbed onto Krishna's garland when it was crushed by the breasts of a rival lover. Let Krishna satisfy the women of Mathura. One who sends a messenger like you will certainly be ridiculed in the Yadus assembly. Even the Yadus will ridicule you, she said. After making us drink the enchanting nectar of his lips only once, Krishna suddenly abandoned us, just as you might quickly abandon some flowers. How is it then that Goddess Padma willingly serves his lotus feet? Alas, the answer must certainly be that her mind has been stolen away by his deceitful words. O bee, why do you sing here so much about the Lord of the Yadus in front of us homeless people? These topics are old news to us. Better you sing about that friend of Arjuna in front of his new girlfriends, the burning desire in whose breast he has now relieved. Those ladies will surely give you the charity you are begging. Keep your head off my feet. I know what you're doing. You expertly learned diplomacy from Mukunda, and now you come as his messenger with flattering words. But he abandoned those who for his sake alone gave up their children, husbands, and all other relations. He's simply ungrateful. Why should I make up with him now? So this is Srimati Radharani. And then she says the same thing which Mahaprabhu is saying now. Like a hunter, he cruelly shot the king of the monkeys with arrows. Because he was conquered by a woman, he disfigured another woman who came to him with lusty desires. And even after consuming the gifts of Bali Maharaja, he bound him up with ropes as if he were a crow. So let us give up all friendship with this dark complexioned boy, even if we can't give up talking about him. So this is Srimati Radharani's mood, and the same mood was reflected by Mahaprabhu. There's a beautiful purport, but with respect to everybody's time, I'll not read it. We'll move ahead with verses. So this is text 19. Kikarya amara se vachore rakathaya ye Krishna balaya tare kheda diya yaya. What use do I have for topics about that thief? He would chase, saying this, Mahaprabhu would chase away anyone who uttered the name of Krishna. So previously we saw when somebody would say Hari, he would roll on the ground and get into ecstasy. Now he's saying, I have no use for these topics, and he's chasing them away. So this is a very intimate mood which Mahaprabhu is displaying. Gokula Gokula Matra Bale Kshane Kshane Vrindavana Vrindavana Bale Kona Dine. Sometimes he would chant Gokula Gokula, and some days he would chant Vrindavana Vrindavana. Mathura Mathura Kona Dina Bale Sukhe Kona Dina Prithvite Nakhe Anka Lekhe. Some days he would happily chant Mathura, Mathura. On some days he would make drawings on the ground with his nails. Kshane Prithvi te lekhe Tribangadakriti Chahi arodhana kare Bhase sabakshiti. Sometimes he would draw a threefold bending form on the ground, and then he would soak the earth with tears while looking at that form. Coming back to Mahaprabhu's tears, he would shed so much of tears looking at the beautiful Tribhanga form of Shyamasundara, which he himself drew on the ground. He would shed torrents of tears. So there's a similar pastime which we learnt in Caitanya Bhagavata, where Mahaprabhu decides to enact a drama in Chandrasekhar Acharya's house, and he decides to play the role of Mother Lakshmi, the internal potency. So on hearing this, everybody assembles in Chandrasekhar Acharya's house, and different associates of Mahaprabhu, they take different parts. Like our Buddhimanta Khana, he arranges for the costumes of everybody, and Mukunda becomes the singer, or Haridas Thakur becomes the watchman of Vaikuntha, our Srivas Pandit becomes Narada, and so on. And then the Lord decides to dance in the dress of Lakshmi Devi. And so as our Lord Vishwambhara was putting on the dress of Mother Lakshmi in one of his rooms, he becomes fully absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And I'm so sorry, Srimati Rukmini Devi. And he totally forgets himself as the Supreme Lord. And he considers himself the daughter of Vidarbha king. So absorbed in the mood of Rukmini Devi, the Lord began to write a letter. We all know how Rukmini Devi conquered our Bhuvana Sundara through her letter. So, but how did our Mahaprabhu write this letter? He wrote this letter using his tears as ink. He used the surface of earth as paper and his finger as pen. And shedding torrents of tears, Mahaprabhu wrote those 7 verses by which Mother Rukmini won the heart of Sri Krishna. So similarly, here our Lord is drawing the Tribhanga form of the Supreme Lord, and he's shedding tears on it. Kshane bale bhai saba bada dekhiwana pale pale simha vyaghra bhaluke ragana. Sometimes he would say, "Oh brothers, I see a great forest filled with lions, tigers and bears." He was seeing Vrindavan forests of Vrindavana. दिवसे रे भले रात्रि रात्रि रे दिवसा एई मत प्रभु हई लेना भक्ति वशा. In this way, the Lord became so overwhelmed in devotional service that he considered the day as night and night as day. So the Lord was totally engrossed in his ecstatic love for the Supreme Lord. So with this, we'll end today's verses. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please correct all the mistakes I made, Matajis, and please share your realizations. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Cinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Excellent class, Mataji. Thank you so much for a very beautiful class. You explain all the verses so beautifully in such depth. Thank you for starting this new chapter where the Lord displays his universe form to Advaita Acharya. Then Nityananda Mahaprabhu comes. Thank you for the beautiful quotes from Ananta Leela, from third chapter Adi Leela, also from Bhagavatam Canto 10, chapter 47, 10 onwards. So beautifully you spoke about how Rukmini Mataji was taken from Lord Krishna, how he fought like a lion. And then you gave the example of the Bhishma Dev, how he made Lord Krishna pick up the weapon in the war, even though he had taken the oath that I will not fight or pick up any weapon. You also spoke about the three exalted devotees, about how Nityananda tricked Mahaprabhu twice, he breaking his danda and then tricking him that, oh yeah, you have reached Vrindavan. Very beautiful pastime. You also spoke about the pastime of Haridas Thakur, how he got old and he had hard time doing chanting and he was lying down and doing chanting. And then Govinda came and gave him Mahaprashadam, brought Mahaprashadam, and Haridas Thakur honored it. And so beautifully narrated how Haridas Thakur left his body in the presence of Mahaprabhu. Hari Bol Mataji. Very, very beautiful. Also, I really liked when the part, my dear Krishna, even though I have forgotten you in this material world, but from this day onwards, I surrender unto you, undoubtedly. And Lord Krishna will accept. I mean, just that one time we have to do that. Just one time, Mataji. And, we are in his, we get his mercy. He also spoke about how Mahaprabhu fall down and he heard, every time he heard the name Hari, Hari, no matter where he was, in the forest, in anywhere, Mahaprabhu was so engrossed in his ecstatic. You gave example of the big Hari that, sorry, I think I got. Also, I really liked when you shared His Holiness Japata Maharajji's, we should cry when we chant, and then we should cry why we cannot chant. Very beautiful, very beautiful. Guru Maharaj Ji ki jai. I don't shed a single tear, Mataji, when I chant. That's how fallen I am. So please pray for me. Give me your blessings that may one day I reach that stage. You shared all the demigods, how they were waiting to see the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. You spoke about the Sankirtan that they did to revive Mahaprabhu. And the Sankirtan was seen in numerous universes. And how the kids should be named, after Lord, because just by uttering Lord's name, we are purifying ourselves, not even knowing that. I was thinking of Ajamil's pastime, just calling his son Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. I don't know how many times he said that. Being so sinful, being so bad things he did all his life, not all his life, but half of his life, that purified him. That's why I think in the olden days, people used to name, given God's names, like my dad, his name is Jagdish Chandra Narayan Malhotra. Such a beautiful name. But now these days it's just whatever comes to mind, people give their kids
Some
names.
weird rules. They take some alphabets from the mom's name, some alphabets from the dad's name.
Yeah, that happens. Or some kids are
A new name is created.
it is funny, and some people are named after the month, June, May. It has no meaning whatsoever.
Thank you so much for the summary. And even I don't have any taste in chanting, Mataji. We'll pray for each other. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you for an excellent class. Very, very grateful to you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. If you have any questions or realizations, please go ahead and share.
Hare Krishna. The class was so beautiful, and Shivani Mataji's summary was also so beautiful. It was like a competition between Cinmayi.
She always excels, Mataji.
It's amazing. Yeah. And thank you both so much. It was so nice. It was just such a pleasure to hear both of you speak. I think both of you should have this continuous conversations throughout the day. With open mouth, we can keep relishing what we both are talking. Very. I really love the class, Mataji. Of course, besides whatever Shivani Mataji said, I just had a few things. How you spoke about each of these associates of Mahaprabhu, the different stories. The comparison of Mahaprabhu with the lion, I especially like Rukmini's letter, that explanation. Yeah, I know, it's so beautiful, right? She calls him Nrsimha. She calls him actually. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, not that she means to say he can also say that he's Nrsimha, but but she means to say he's the lion among men. That's what the translation goes. But he's also non-different from Nrsimha. Yeah. And I was thinking about, yes, Haridas Thakur pastime, and then the comparison with Brahmaragit. So many of these verses, they have parallels everywhere. And how nicely you brought out those parallels. It was nice. While you were talking about Brahmaragit, and you were telling how Radharani is telling about Krishna, you mentioned, I was very curious why, meaning why the translation is like that. You mentioned that he's the friend of Arjuna, right? Krishna was the friend of Arjuna. And yeah, at this point, Krishna is in Mathura and he's only 12 years old. And the actual introduction of the pastimes between Arjuna and Krishna haven't even unfolded. So why is she telling? Does she mean the Gopa Arjun? What really makes her say friend of Arjun, and why? That was my question.
I'll read Mataji, it's in the purport. Okay. With the word agrahanam agrato naha, Radharani laments that even though she and the other gopis gave up their homes to love Krishna in a conjugal relationship, the Lord left them and became a prince in the great royal city of the Yadus. Besides meaning Arjuna the victor, the word Vijaya also directly indicates Sri Krishna, who is always victorious in his endeavors. So I think the verse is Vijaya Sakha. The verse does not say Arjuna, it says Vijaya Sakha.
So he means to say that he's the one who's always victorious.
Yes. Generally, even Bhishma calls Krishna Vijaya Sakha, and there it is given as a friend of Arjuna, right? So I think that's why the translation goes as friend of Arjuna. But then in purport, Prabhupada's disciples, they have clarified. Besides meaning Arjuna the victor, the word Vijaya also directly can also mean Sri Krishna.
Yeah. He's interesting. He's also Vijaya. He's also Vijaya Sakha.
Yes. So beautiful, right, Mataji?
Nice. Very nice class, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for giving this opportunity, and thank you for helping me. Without your guidance, I can't even do these.
Not doing anything. You just give credit. Simply. Free credit.
No, Mataji, it's the truth. Unless I run it by you once, I don't feel confident. I don't even know if I'm talking something which makes sense.
Hare Krishna, Cinmayi Mataji, thank you so much for the beautiful, beautiful class. Happy Ekadasi. Thank you for speaking about Lord on this auspicious day. It's very nice to hear from you, Mataji. Your classes are becoming so good, Mataji. Thank you so much. You're just speaking. It's so lively, Mataji. Thank you. Very grateful to you.
Thank you, Anita Gandharvika Mataji. I should admire you. You are working and still every day you are there giving notifications, everything you're doing, all your services so beautifully, Mataji. So much to learn from you. Thank you so much for all
All glories to Srila Prabhupada Mataji. I'm just praying that I will be able to do it from here also, but Krishna's mercy is making me to do it. Thank you, Mataji.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, devotees are thanking you in the chat. I would like to read. Lalitangi Mataji says, wonderful class. Thank you, Mataji. Yashomati Mataji saying, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dana Pranams. Thank you so much for a beautiful class as usual. glorious pastimes of Mahaprabhu, ecstatic in separation mood. Sukh Sagri Mataji saying, beautiful class as always, Cinmayi Mataji. Thank you so much once again for a very beautiful
You didn't
class.
read the last part, Mataji. Beautiful.
No, that's not important,
submission.
Mataji. That's not important. We're here to glorify you, not me. Thank you so much. I really love your classes. Very, very grateful to you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Mataji is also saying.
Oh yeah, Kripa
Thank you so much.
Mataji. Hare Krishna, wonderful session.
Thank you
Hare
so much.
Krishna, dear devotees. If there are no more realizations, I would like to thank Hare Krishna Cinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Thank you for your valuable time and beautiful association and excellent class, Mataji. Looking forward to your association in the near future. I would like to pay my obeisances to Her Grace, Vrajapriya Mataji, Cinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji, and all the devotees. Do I have your permission to close the call, Mataji? Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah. Samasta Rashtravendi ki jai. Jai Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Bhagavad ki jai.
Jai.
Her Grace Cinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji ki jai.
Jai.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Mataji,
Mataji.
Dandat
Very
Pranam.
beautiful
Such
class.
a beautiful
Thank you
class,
so much,
Mataji, as usual.